The white farmers have a place here. They are not going anywhere. That's why Trump called them and they were like, where? Assisi. We are fine.
And then on top of that, shouldn't the people who have the land, who have the resources, be the ones that feel like they are the ones being sold out by meeting us?
People have lost their livelihoods. We know how many businesses have been destroyed. We could see the violence, and we have seen that violence. People being physically attacked and beaten.
For South Africans. Because if he is still failing right now to do something for South Africans with the power that he currently has,
you are so hateful to other fellow Africans that you will even go to.
Charlie, South Africa is in trouble. South Africa is in trouble. Companies are packing out and they are leaving South Africa to the neighboring countries like Lesotho, or the Zambia or Zimbabwe, all these countries that are in the Southern African region. They are leaving and they are going there because of what is happening in South Africa. And also, JACINTA has responded again to all these things that people are saying about her, about AfriForum and all those things. She has responded again, and I don't want to talk much. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. I also have other videos for you. Let's go into the videos, watch, come back and talk.
We want to make sure that business remain in South Africa. So the ease of doing business is something that must be looked at. Companies cannot pack and go to the neighboring countries because it's difficult to operate in the country. Why is it difficult? It could be the laws that allow them to set up their business. Could be the labor laws that we have, where we demand so much, and they end up saying, if I set up in Lesotho and set up in Mozambique, I'll make more money, so let me rather move. There are many businesses that are moving as a result. And what happens after that? The citizens in the country are left without jobs. So we need to encourage business to stay in the country so that we can create opportunities for people to get employment.
Hi guys, I hope you're good. I hope you're well. I'm recording this video. It's going to be very short because I'm hoping to get some enlightenment and possibly even some thought-provoking answers about some of the videos that we've seen some people recording. Obviously, majority of people who are criticizing us meeting AfriForum are people that have never even supported March in March, which is expected. But I'd really like to know, when you say that March in March has sold out, what exactly have we sold out? So I asked this question on Facebook and I'm yet to receive an answer. But the one answer that I did get, or two, the first person said we sold out on land of Black people. And I wanted to know, isn't that what you guys are fighting for, or what we are fighting for, to say that South Africans want land back to the hands of the people? But how did we sell out something that we don't own? The other person said that we sold out our Blackness. So we've met AfriForum. Does that now mean you're less of a Black person, or I'm less of a Black person? But hopefully we'll get more answers, because I'm really interested to know, when you say we've sold out, what have we sold out? And then on top of that, shouldn't the people who have the land, who have the resources, be the ones that feel like they are the ones being sold out by meeting us? I mean, we're the ones that have been labeled as vigilantes, that have been called all sorts of names. So nobody now for a change is asking, what does March and March bring to the table, right? But we're the ones that sold out. What exactly did we sell out? You know, and I'm asking because we have specifically said we're going there to learn. When we get there, these people have resources, something we don't have, to achieve what we want to achieve in terms of the immigration and securing our border. And somehow that is seen as selling out.
Let's also remind people why I left the Dola, just so that you take that out the way. Two reasons. It turned into a political party.
Yeah.
The talks were saying, let's go into politics. And I was like, I have zero interest in politics. And number two, the fight had stopped, or maybe shifted from undocumented to all foreigners.
All foreigners.
And I was like, not me.
Okay.
That conversation is very disturbing and disgusting.
I'm saying, yeah, the white farmers have a place here. They are not going anywhere. That's why Trump called them and they were like, where? Asizi. We are fine. Because they know they are fine here. Who wouldn't want to go to America if you are struggling and you are being called by President of America to come? Those who left, they are on their way back. Because it has been proven that it's a lie. It's a complete lie. Also, the fact that they are white people who go around saying we want to chase away whites is not true. We want to kill farmers. It's not true. If I'm going to kill whites, I will have to start with the friends of my kids. And I will have to confront my kids because they're going to say to me, Dad, why do you kill so and so? Why? Because we've become one thing. The fact that you invaded our land, you have been here for so long, that we have been into each other's skin so much that we cannot live without each other. So why would you wish away your relatives? Because to be racism is to be xenophobic. The Lesotho people are not Lesotho people, they are my relatives. So when you say the Lesotho people must be killed, you mean my relatives from Botlokwa must be killed. You mean the colleagues we work with who are white, their children and their comrades in the EFF, Carl Niehaus, must be killed. And I was saying to the EFF leadership that the problem with the EFF is that you have not gone all out there to recruit white people, progressive white people, to demonstrate to them that we have nothing against white people. It's just that we are calling out a system that privileged them and they're individualizing it because they want to perpetuate the privilege, and we're not going to allow that.
All right.
If being means hated by those who want to perpetuate white privilege and white supremacists, then let them do that.
The most dangerous kind of person is a brown person who allows their brownness to be used to further a racist agenda. Now, we know what's happening in South Africa. We know what has happened. We know how many people have been killed because they were Black Africans. We know how many people have lost their livelihoods. We know how many businesses have been destroyed. We could see the violence, and we have seen that violence. People being physically attacked and beaten. Their businesses raided and everything taken. And now the South African ministers are saying that are asking companies not to flee the country because companies are fleeing the country because this is major instability. Now, as a result of this, unemployment has massively shot up in South Africa. When asked about this, Jessica Zuma basically said this. This is what she said. People are acting as if unemployment went up because people lost their jobs. What? And this is the thing. So she was stressing that the real problem was that thousands of previously discouraged South Africans were re-entering the labor market and irresponsibly allowing themselves to be counted. So she continued and said, if they had simply remained at home, stopped searching and accepted that nobody was hiring them, the unemployment rate would actually look much better. What the hell are you on about? You started a movement that is going to disadvantage Black South Africans, and you knew this. You're not a stupid person. You knew this. But the thing that is guiding you is your own pockets. Your own pockets are guiding you. Okay? Because the people that are going to suffer most are the needy Black people. They are the ones that are going to suffer most. And the thing is, this is something that has been used. If you look at institutions or some countries, they're using the brown face to further agendas that are so radical that a white person could not carry it through.
I think what you have just proven, the March and March followers, that you are not following from logic, you are following from hate. You are so hateful to other fellow Africans that you will even go to your... Honestly, what is the alignment between March and March and AfriForum? When AfriForum members are the beneficiary of illegal immigrants, how then do you think that they are going to take away their employees on behalf of you, Black lazy South African? Because the narrative that South Africans are lazy came from the very same members who opted to hire illegal immigrants in replacement of you, African South African. So all of a sudden today, the very same people can be able to be the people who are going to help you solve your problems. The very same AfriForum that represent the Boers who kill African farmers.
JACINTA said that she doesn't know what's right or wrong. Are we surprised? No. I mean, you guys need to understand this is a person who initially built her career off being a radio presenter. One of the incentives of being a radio presenter is bringing bringing listeners to your show. But that incentive does not involve having a moral compass, knowing what's right and knowing what's wrong. It's just inferred, but the main thing that a media company or a radio station would be wanting from you as an individual is you getting a lot of views, you getting a lot of listeners. She transferred that energy here on TikTok and other social media platforms, and surprise, surprise, talking about deporting foreign nationals gets you a lot of views, gets you a lot of likes on these different platforms. This is where an issue now arises, because getting a lot of views and likes does not necessarily mean that what you're saying or doing is right or wrong. Views and likes are a statistic, just like money. Money is devoid from emotions. Views and likes are the same thing. And if you do not ideologically ground yourself, you can find yourself in a situation where you become similar to the very things that you're chasing, being very detached from reality, being detached from emotion, being detached from morality. As we currently are seeing with JACINTA, I'm not saying that she's morally bankrupt, but she's admitted herself by saying that, listen, I do not know what is right or wrong. JACINTA is just one person in this huge ecosystem of social media influencers. We are currently seeing just one example of an individual who has now lost the reasoning between knowing what's right and knowing what's wrong. We see the same thing with all these podcasters when they say some really ridiculous, outrageous stuff, which many may view it as being bad, but they don't see it because their incentive is getting views and likes, and they have not grounded themselves in some ideological grounding. And that is the most important thing that we now question, not only JACINTA, but many individuals that are within the social media spaces. What is your ideological grounding when you're making your content? Because now, as we currently see with JACINTA, the grounds, the foundation for why she's pushing for a lot of people to be deported in South Africa, there's not much ground there. And listen, if you watch that JJ Tabani interview, do not look at it like JJ is trying to shame her for what she's doing. No, JJ wants to understand what information has grounded JACINTA for her to now create all this chaos within the country.
And that's what this mayor is going to do. When he enters there, he must fire all those ANC connected people who got jobs because they are connected to the ANC. And go to the youth command and find a skill, because in the youth command, we've got so many graduates, yet they are unemployed. Unemployment in South Africa is so scary. Our children are not working because government has got no strategy on how they're going to create jobs. What do? They make you think that a Zimbabwean is the one that makes you not to work. Then they put Zimbabweans inside the buses back to Zimbabwe. What happened? They announced yesterday the unemployment has increased. Yet Zimbabweans are gone. To show to you that that was not the problem. They are diverting you from the real problem. The real problem is that factories are closing. Industry is collapsing. There is no job being created by the ANC government, by the GNU. And that's why there is unemployment. There can never be jobs if South Africa is not turned into a construction site. When you turn this way, you must find construction. When you turn this way, you must find construction. When you turn that way, you must find industries being opened. When was the last time did you see Cyril Ramaphosa cutting a ribbon? If a president does not cut a ribbon, it means there is no development. Why will he cut a ribbon? Because the job of a president is to cut ribbons, is to announce that I've developed this road, I've given you this school, I've given you a hospital, a clinic that operates 24 hours. He will never cut a ribbon because it's a man on top and doing nothing.
You know, Mina, I feel very sorry. I feel very, very, very sorry for the youth of today who still listen to these old apartheid politicians and trust them and believe that one day they will change their lives. Because all of these people are the same. Malema is just the same as Ramaphosa, is just the same as Jacob Zuma. The moment he gets into real power, he is not going to do anything for South Africans. Because if he is still failing right now to do something for South Africans with the power that he currently has, forget that when he gets into office, he is going to do something to help the youth of South Africa. He has 40 seats in parliament, but there is not even one thing that he can show as the EFF that this is what I've done for the youth of South Africa. He's busy saying that Cyril Ramaphosa, when was the last time we saw Cyril Ramaphosa cutting a ribbon? We just saw him 2 weeks ago opening a hospital in Mpumalanga, King Yabela Hospital. Is it King Yabela Hospital? I'm not sure if I pronounced the name right. We just saw him 2 weeks ago opening a new hospital in Mpumalanga. So do you see that politicians, what they do for a living is to lie, make empty promises so that you can vote for them, so that they can get into power. And you know, when we want to look at these things nicely right now, 90% of the youth in South Africa that is eligible to vote, like people who vote, people who follow politics, who are the youth here in South Africa, they are all part of the EFF. And when it comes to the unemployment rate here in South Africa, the reason why it's so high, it is because most of the youth here in South Africa are unemployed. And all the youth, the youth that is talking about that there are no jobs for the youth, they all vote for the EFF. They all vote for him. So Yena, as a political party, as a political leader, as the president of the EFF, what has he done for the youth of South Africa? You cannot tell us that you are waiting to get into office for you to do something, because you were busy bragging earlier this year when you were given 190 million. You were busy bragging that hey, the China Gauteng, the control like EFF, the money for Gauteng is controlled by the EFF. What have you done with that 190 million to improve the lives of the youth here in South Africa? The youth that vote for you. What have you done as a political party? You cannot keep on blaming the ANC for everything. Julius Malema, the ANC and the GNU, they are the ones who are not creating jobs, blah, blah, blah. That 9% of people that you have who are voting for you each and every time when there are elections, what are you doing for their children? What are you doing for them? Well, now, because you do have the money that you are always wasting to pay lawyers so that they can defend you with all of your criminal charges that you have in the Madlanga Commission and everywhere else, because you are a criminal. Let me say it like that. Because if you are not a criminal, you wouldn't be going into court left, right, and center. So what are you doing when, as the president of the EFF? What are you doing to help the youth of South Africa today? What are you doing? Every time. So when your campaigning strategy is to point at a president, because first it was Thabo Mbeki, then it was Jacob Zuma, and then now it is Cyril Ramaphosa. I wonder if they put you into power, like if you really get into power, who are you going to blame next? Like, who are you going to blame next? I even saw your other people in Cape Town. I think it is Cape Town, your EFF Magogo, who is campaigning to be a mayor in Cape Town. one of your mayors in Cape Town, she was busy there using the DA as an excuse to campaign, saying that this is the DA, this is how they treat the people who vote for them, this is how the people are living here, blah blah blah. And then I was looking at these people and I'm like, if these people actually really want to help South Africans, they will stop blaming other political parties, other politicians, and go on the ground and do the work, because they have the funds. Each and every year they get funding so that they can help the people, but they do not want to help the people. All they want to do is to blame other politicians and not do the work and say, that is why the EFF will never get into real power, because you people, you are only good for doing what you are doing right now. Not taking accountability of anything and blaming other people for your own problem. Things that whether you can fix yourself, you want to blame other people. That is why we are saying that we need to do away with all these old politicians. We need to stop listening to these old politicians, because the moment he says that you are they are depoliticizing the youth, you want to politicize the youth so that you can keep them stuck, so that they can adopt your mentality of blaming other people. Meanwhile, they can look into themselves and fix the problems themselves. They can create jobs for themselves. Julius, I'll keep on asking, what are you doing for the youth of South Africa? Because everyone here in South Africa who is in their youth, they vote for you. The EFF has conquered the youth. But what are you doing for that youth? Because the unemployment rate is high. And it's the youth that is voting for you that need jobs. What are you doing as a government for those people? Nothing. The only thing that you can do, Cyril Ramaphosa is not doing anything. He's not doing anything.
You see, there are certain things that is happening gradually to the South African economy, and I think the ordinary South Africans that have actually been brainwashed to think that foreigners are the ones that are doing or are creating whatever problems that they are facing in South Africa. It is sad. It is sad to see something like that happen in South Africa, because now, as you heard, the companies are leaving South Africa. And it is all because of what is happening. They feel South Africa is not conducive for them anymore to keep their companies there and work and still keep working. You understand? These are some of the things that also contribute to the GDP of South Africa. So the GDP that South Africans have been boasting about and saying this and saying that, because some of the guys go to some of these companies harassing the owners to forcefully take out the foreigners and employ. Charlie, there are ways to go about this. There are institutions that are meant for this. You understand? If South Africans allowed the institutions, and rather pressured the institutions to do their job, that would have been fair and also the right way. They are not allowing these people to do their job, but rather the ordinary citizens are going to some of these companies and are harassing them and forcing them to employ South Africans. Bro, if the person doesn't feel comfortable in your country, they would definitely leave. And that's what is happening to South Africa right now. And for JACINTA, people are blaming her for meeting AfriForum and all that, and they are saying she has sold out. You know, when they say someone has sold out their own people, like, you understand, because AfriForum is basically for Africans. You understand? They fight for Africans since, and they even want to separate themselves from South Africa. So JACINTA fighting for black South Africans and going to meet AfriForum is a bit weird to a lot of people, so they don't understand, and that's why people are calling her sellout. But we live to see. Let's see what happens in the future. Thank you so much for watching.